Okay, so another week, another video. I'm just waiting for my sexy assistant because all jugglers have a sexy assistant. Well, I requested one, and I don't know who's gonna come out of the house, so we shall see any moment now. Something I thought I should mention is that with juggling, you can juggle with just about anything really. If you can pick it up and throw it, you can probably juggle it. Like, for the intro to this video, I'm planning to juggle bottles. It's quite possible. If you're just starting out though, you probably want to get some juggling balls, and ones that are fairly nicely weighted and feel comfortable in your hands. Now most people would obviously buy a juggling ball online or go to a juggling shop or something. What I like to do is walk around the garden and look. If you look really carefully, you can sometimes spot them hiding. For example, there's one. Look at that. There's another one. And there's a third. Okay, these are the juggling balls I like to use. They are a fairly comfortable weight. They fit in my hands quite nicely, and they're quite squidgy. Squidgy balls are quite useful to start with because they stick in your hand better. So if you have a tennis ball or like a harder ball, it's quite easy to just like bounce out of your hand. With a squidgy ball like these ones, they're just quite easy to catch, so they're more inspiring. Also, if you're practicing on a hard floor, if you have a hard ball, it will just roll away. Whereas these squidgy ones these squidgy ones won't roll as far, hopefully. So they're just like easier to practice with and to get used to. Okay, so one problem you can get with juggling balls often is that they get holes in and they start leaking. So I thought I could fix this with these ones. Only problem is now they're just uncomfortable and they're not in a nice circular shape, which means they just don't juggle as well. So probably if your balls start breaking, you should get hold of some new ones. I'll sort it out fairly quickly. But anyway, on to the video. Right, so my assistant has finally arrived. Look at him. Oh. he's well dressed for it.
Flip-flops and all.
Alright, now we can actually do juggling because you can't juggle unless you have an assistant.
Hey! First ever try.
That is why we need an assistant. Right, I don't think you'll be much help for the rest of the hour.
You're fired.
Okay. Oh, and we should probably demonstrate. River himself is learning to juggle.
Yeah, I'm still at level 0.
For a future video, I'm planning to teach River to juggle 4 balls.
Less confident now, being fired as an assistant.
No, thank you. Alright, so when the train's gone past. Alright, so I might actually be ready to do some juggling now. Anyway, last week I was showing you how to do this multiplex. And this week I'm only showing you 2 more. One's quite similar, the other is a little bit different, but they're both still variations on 3 ball tricks, just with multiplex throws. Alright, so the first trick looks like this. Might take me a few goes because, again, outside and cold hands, I'm not very good. Thank God. Oh. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so the idea of this trick is it's a 3 ball cascade, but one of the throws is a multiplex like this. This is similar to the one that we were doing last week, apart from the bottom ball goes across with the top ball. Okay, to practice this, it's best to start just practicing going back to the same hand. And always both hands. Until you've got it comfortable. Then you're ready to pass them both across. To do this, you're going to do the same motion, just with a bit of a push sideways. Keep practicing that. When you've got it comfortably, ready to move on. First step is just going to be picking up 1 more ball. So you're going to practice as if you've got 1 ball in each hand. You're just going to treat the 2 balls as 1 ball, and you're just going to throw the 2 balls first. Same the other way. When you've got that comfortable, we're going to do it the other way, so throwing the one ball first and then the two balls. You might find this easier, so you might want to do this first. When you've got that comfortably both directions, pick up the third ball. Fourth ball even, fourth ball. This time we're going to throw one ball out of our worst hand, two balls in each hand, we're going to throw one ball out of our worst hand, and then just draw our multiplex, and then throw one more throw. Do that a few times until you're comfortable with it. And then when you're comfortable with that, ready to go the other direction. So again, two balls in each hand, throw one ball out of your best hand, and then throw one more throw. Like that, 3 throws. When you're ready, probably best to start with throwing one ball out of your worst hand and just keep going. Try and go for 2 multiplex throws the first time. Then when you can do that, just keep going. Okay, this is a great trick because you can pick up more balls and throw more multiplexes. You could even end up with 6 balls throwing a multiplex each time. That's going to be really hard, but you can learn it, quite possibly. And it's not a very hard one to practice because you just keep on practicing your throws. Hopefully you can learn that trick. Do your best. Remember to pat yourself on the back for everything you do learn. Next trick is similar to the one we learned last week. Last week we were doing this. This week we're going to do that one, and out of the other hand. Okay, so this trick is similar to juggling 3 balls, but in a half shower pattern. In this case, all the balls you're throwing multiplex, you're throwing on the outside of the other balls. So here's the first step to practicing. You want to just have your 2 balls in your multiplex grip and throw them, instead of throwing like this, you're going to throw like that. So you're throwing from the outside, and you're just going to let the bottom ball in the palm of your hand just pop out like that, and the top ball like that. Again, both hands. And make sure you're comfortable with that. Next step, pick up a third ball, 2 balls in your best hand, 1 ball in your worst hand. Just going to throw 1 ball in your worst hand and the multiplex over the top. The bottom ball should be just coming over the one that you're throwing here and landing on top of it in this hand. And the top ball should be flicking right over. Make sure you can do that. Switch to 2 balls in your worst hand, just the same again. Get them both comfortable and you're ready to get 4 balls. This time we're just going to do exactly the same, just with an extra ball. It's just going to sit here and not do anything for the first go. So again, 2 balls in your worst hand, 2 in your best, throw 1 out of your worst hand. And just catch. Try and catch. When you're ready, you're going to throw the bottom ball out of your worst hand. So again, 1 ball out of your worst hand, multiplex, and you're throwing the multiplex through the middle of the 2 balls, like last time. When you're comfortable with that, throw 1 more multiplex. And again, keep going. When you're done with that, you can learn in your worst hand. It's quite okay to learn these tricks just in one direction, particularly to start with. It just makes it a lot easier in the future if you can learn them in both directions for when you want to go on to doing this trick with 5 balls or more. Okay, so again, 2 balls in each hand. We're going to throw 1 ball out of your best hand. And the multiplex over the top. When you're comfortable with that, just catch. When you're comfortable with that, we're going to throw 1 more throw out of this hand. Okay, so hopefully now I'll be able to demonstrate the 5-ball version of this trick. Alright, hopefully you can see how that works, and hopefully you've learned something from this video. Okay, so last week at the end of the video, I was showing you the trick which I was working on, which is a 4-ball trick. Something like that. But I only showed you out of my right hand. So this week I'm going to show you my progress on the same trick, but just out of my left hand. Alright, so I hope you can see, I think I got 2 full runs through in my left hand. It's a lot harder, but I'm going to be practicing that a lot over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully I'll be able to get it smooth out of both hands. And then in a few weeks' time, hopefully I'll be able to do the 5-ball version for the camera. But we'll see. Might take a while. I've got some other tricks I'm working on at the moment lined up for the next couple of videos, but I think that's going to be quite a long time. Anyway, hope to see you next week.